Hi Todd, good morning.
Good morning, Ahmed. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Doing good, thank you.
Great.
Morning, everybody. How's it going?
Good morning.
Morning.
So, hope everyone had a good weekend. Looks like we got about everybody. Maybe you need Amine. Danny might join as well soon. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Amit, can you begin for us?
So, yes. So first thing today I completed the share with me and share by me a new query which Jerry has given to me and just create a pull request for it.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing,
Uh,
second
que- question on that: is that going to be backwards compatible?
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's only
So,
backend search changes, not the
okay.
app search changes.
Okay, and then
Backend side, it is the same API. We in the same API, we handle it.
okay, you said you have a PR for Jerry.
Yes.
Okay.
And second thing, Sontel sent me for tagging notification. So I have some questions there. I'm working on it. So can you see the my screen? I will tell ask you.
You want to share your screen? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yeah. So like Sontel sent me like it should be your face just made a cameo, tagged you in a photo. So this will be the title, right, Sontel? Hmm.
Yeah, I need
And,
a header then with it. Okay, yeah.
and this will be the body. And where it will redirect when you click the
Uh,
notification.
let me update this for you.
Okay, so meanwhile we will update so we can continue. And
So
Oh,
meanwhile,
okay.
what about the updates? What were we saying on it?
so once we will update it, I will update the notification.
Yep, I updated it.
Okay.
Okay. And this will redirect to the photo where we tagged, right?
Correct.
Yes. Well,
So,
possible. So this is a notification will take you right to the photo, like open the photo.
so where it will take, like suppose I got the notification, I click on that notification, where it will redirect to us.
Yeah. I mean, that would be ideal. Maybe we should check with Ismail and make sure it can open right to the photo. Ismail, is that possible? The notification will be able to open the tagged photo.
Mm, um, okay, let's see how that would work though.
Right.
Um, the thing is, Maybe there's a way to open the photo, but it won't be scrolled to it, if that makes sense.
Right, because the feed would have to scroll to it as well. If I mean,
And what I'm thinking, John, like since we are going to show all the multimedia of a group, right? So we can redact to there and see, open the photo there.
yeah, except if there's lots of photos in the group, I don't know how if the front end can scroll to the right one, and that's kind of what Ismail's saying, right? Ismail.
Yeah, so basically, the way I'm thinking about is the maybe the notification itself carries the image URL,
Hmm.
and from that we can open the image modal.
Okay.
But and like for example, if it's inside a chat, it can go to the either main chat or if it's inside a topic, it can navigate to that topic. Um,
But then you would have to try and find it in there.
Correct. Like yeah, it would open the topic. It won't scroll to the image. And if you want the image to open, we can maybe find a way to open the image once it scrolls to the correct topic. But then after you close the image and you want to reopen it, you'd have to kind of scroll and find it.
Yeah. Okay, this part's
Most of the time, it will be somewhere near since you just got a notification. Like it's not going to be too far up the history, but yeah, we don't have support for like scrolling to find the message yet or anything like that.
well, okay. This is more reason we should put the alerts bell back on the nav bar down on the bottom of the screen, because if I tapped the notification for an image and I saw it and then I closed it, I'd want to figure out how to find it again, and I'd probably get frustrated that I couldn't find it again, because not everyone's going to know intuitively that it's in that chat. Um, Perhaps in the alerts it can say which chat it's in. I suppose, Ismail, is that something we could do? And would you need backend assistance on that in the alert?
Alerts to say what chat? How would that work?
So like it would say you were tagged in a photo in the Bar West chat custom topic, club photos custom topic, let's say.
I mean, alerts are generated. Let me see.
So in that case, yeah, I can return that chart URL inside notification. But in that case, when Ismail will tag now, and that time from the app side, we want group key and topic key, Ismail.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that last part? It's cut off a little
Group key. So suppose you are tagging a user inside chat
bit.
photo. So in that case, we want group key and topic key.
Group key and topic key. I see. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, and then you can, and the alerts is contains from a user and then a message under.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what an alert is. So the message can be constructed by the backend, but as Ahmed said, they would need the group key and the topic key so they can generate that sentence or that body. Because you have like a header and a body, or a title and a body
Body, yes.
for alerts. And that's
Yeah.
both generated by the backend. But yeah, as Ahmed said, they would still gonna need the. You guys already, I think. Oh yeah, you don't have the group key. Mm, okay, so maybe we have separate input to
No,
basically.
separate input. Why separate input? The
Mm,
same
I guess
endpoint.
well, cause okay, but we need them to be optional in case we want to create a tag outside chat.
So suppose the backend will handle in that case if we will not receive group key or topic key. So we can assume it's a different scenario.
Mm, correct. Mm, I guess. Okay. Okay. I was thinking about a separate prop, but then maybe we don't need a separate prop or
Mm.
separate input. I mean, you guys know better on the backend side, but yeah, just keep in mind that we we might support inside feeds and then chat, so you have to have a way to distinguish where this is coming from. So if you want to keep it in the same object, that's fine as long as you guys can eventually or
Okay,
yeah distinguish.
whatever it will be beneficial for you, we can do it. Like if you want separating
For
point,
me, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying in terms of keeping it organized. You know what I mean? That's all.
hmm. Jerry, what are you suggesting?
Um, sorry, I was checking on something else. Are we talking about the notifications for tagging?
Yeah,
Tag
and where the it takes you the tagging photo. You're tagging a photo, and it opens you to the photo, and then also the alert would we want specifics because it's not like we can just scroll you into the chat from a notification. That's a challenging front end
Mm-hmm.
feature we don't have. In the short run, I want to put the alert bell back on the nav bar where it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Or probably replace the check-in button so that way it's easy to find it. Because that way, if I close the image, I'm not lost of like, wait, where was that image again? The alert bell's right there. So then the alert itself needs to be really specific. Like you were tagged in a photo in the Bar West chat under the club photos topic. Like that would be the alert with all that information in it.
Also, just to add to that, clicking on the alert will open that image again.
Let's
Yeah.
think about something for what we call it. Okay, if somebody is tagged in a group, and we have to also consider that that may not be part of the group to begin with. How is that
Well,
possible?
wait, let me think about that. Well, the
Yeah, that is
photo itself,
possible.
yeah, that's true. Like, well, let me think. Okay, so maybe we need to add them to the group. Let me think about this for a second. Yeah, yeah. If they haven't been added one way or another, like clicking a link or something else, then we add them to the group. So that's a good point. What would that entail?
Um, we need to. We should have a modal. If you tag somebody, it should be like, just so you know, name's going to be added to the group. What do you think about that?
Let me think if it's even necessary. If it's a public group where like anybody can join, I don't think it really matters. But let me
Yeah,
think.
well, I mean, it goes both ways. It goes on the courtesy of the group being private, and it goes on courtesy of the person you're tagging.
Yeah, yeah, they'll be added to the group. Yeah,
Yeah, and you're like, why do you keep tagging me? You know,
yeah, and then they get notifications. But I mean, you can add anybody to a group too, but you're adding them.
right?
So
You know you're adding them. You
right.
don't explicitly know that here.
Yeah. I have to think about that.
mm,
Yeah, just don't want to add too much complexity. Let's go with the more simple for now, just in our thought experiment. So if they're not in the group, they do need to be added. Otherwise, we have a problem, right? They wouldn't be able to view it.
Right.
Okay. So
Well, technically, if you want to give if we want to give them access to just the image,
Mm,
that
hmm,
would be
have to make a
possible.
screen for that, and then we want to bring them into the group as well.
But
then
yeah,
maybe
I'm just
they
saying
then they
if
could
not,
like it'd be their option to join. Maybe.
but the other person has to be aware of that.
What do you mean?
Like me as the person who tagged that person, I have to be aware that that person now has the ability to join.
It's a public group. Anybody can join.
What
That's,
happens?
Well, I'm talking about the private ones.
we're not doing that right now.
We're not doing tagging in private groups.
Um, I wasn't thinking that. No, this was more for the program we have where we take photos at venues and they're in.
Mm,
What?
okay, it's different. First
Yeah,
time I'm aware of this.
we'll have to make the front end aware now that this group is public.
Yeah, didn't we talk about that in the very beginning?
Mm,
No, first time I hear of this.
I think we might have, but it was probably very early on and very quick. Because yeah, we're not really considering all the other possibilities yet, like in the feed or trust tip photos and stuff like that yet. It's really for this program we're doing
mhm.
um, for now. We did talk about it because you said exactly that, Jerry. You said, and and I think there was other reasons too to know if a chat is public or not public. That's kind of what spawned that discussion.
Hmm.
I think that's kind of important. Like in the long run, we need a distinction anyway, don't we? For
Hmm.
various features to know if it's a public or private chat.
Right. We could
Okay.
add a query to the gate group details.
Okay. What does that do as far as your side of it is? Well,
Um, I mean, I guess as long as I have a way to distinguish between public and private groups, I can like uh, hide that tag button so that nobody can tag.
okay. Okay. That works. Okay. And then what else were we just saying, Jerry?
It would just be added. I would add it to the back end, just like a public flag.
Yeah. And then, but we were talking about adding someone to the group automatically, or maybe they add themselves when if they, maybe they opt in when they see the photo they're tagged in.
Simpler thing would just be is to add them. But I could understand where some people get really thrown off. I was going to say, what does Facebook do if you're in a public group and you tag somebody?
Well, they have private groups. We don't have private groups right now. And we have private group chats, but like these ones that we designate as like pinned and discoverable,
Mhm.
they're all open. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
Right now, we don't have a kind of a lurking feature to where you can like view a group without joining it.
that's true. Yeah. We don't.
If we had that lurking feature, it would be totally fine to bring somebody into a group and show them a message.
Yeah. Well, being that there's public groups that anybody can join,
What if we just add them to the group and then we down the line we can work on that lurking feature
yeah, that's kind of
and
what.
and then they can opt in from there.
Yeah, let's go with the easy phase one to get the structure built out, and then we can get complexity beyond that.
Mhm.
Okay, I like that strategy. I'll always prefer that. So then we can get a working model, and we probably could test it in a small group too if we wanted to. But but okay, so let's go with that. What do we need now? What does Ismail need, Jerry?
Uh,
Or
Uh,
Amit?
so I can just give them a flag on whether the group is public or not.
Okay, what were you gonna say, Amit?
so like for tagging also we require group key then Jerry, right? Group key and topic key.
Uh, yeah, for the tag mutation.
Mm.
That's correct.
Yes.
And Amit, you'll work on that.
Yes, I will.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. What other pieces?
And one more thing, Todd sent me on the weekend.
Mhm.
Like I said, the Google from the Google API, we are not storing category. So we for category, we are not calling Google API. So do we need to do that now?
We do call the Google API
Ah,
for categories. Yeah.
API, yes. But category, we are not using Google category. Place APIs and category for the businesses that may not have been available for us in past. Here, what I found, what John is asking. That is what John asked when I asked about assigning category when favoriting a business.
Okay.
If Google is not letting us know all the category, then we streamline the selection process. So can we start storing Google category also?
First of all, are we receiving all the categories from everything that I've been told from the beginning is that we just get broad categories. And if I've done my own research on that, and sure enough, the Google API was not giving developers their detailed information that they would get. Like if you do a Google search and you find a restaurant on the Google website, It'll tell you all kinds of information about it. It's a sushi restaurant, Asian food category, sushi restaurant, and lots of detail that our API was only telling us it's a restaurant.
Hmm.
Are you saying the API we're using can tell us it's a sushi restaurant?
Yes, so like Google API is also returning the which category that business is there.
Since when?
It's a start from the beginning, I think. Yeah.
What's that?
So like it's past 3 years we can see there.
3 years?
Yes.
It hasn't been 3 years since I just had this conversation with Eric. Okay. So you're saying you think in the last 3 years we've been able, I had this long conversation with Eric about how to just get the broad category restaurant, and then at least we have.
Yeah, Google is returning. Their API is returning.
What does it look like? What we might need to make is we need a translation list to translate
Yeah.
it between our categories and Google categories.
Well, yeah, no
Yeah,
one's
mapping.
Yeah. So Ahmed, if it's returning the categories, maybe you could work on making a mapping list between our categories and Google categories.
Yes, yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Have you seen it yet on it?
Yes, I will show you. I will show you. Let me give
Yeah, I
example.
want to see it with my eyes.
1 minute. Give me any business.
Um, Makuni, Mikuni.
1 minute. MIK, just a minute.
This is gonna piss me off.
Um,
It's been 3 years. Jerry, how long you been with us? About a year?
About a year.
No,
so 1 minute. Profile wave, can you please spell John for me? MAKO
Mikuni.
MIK. Other can continue. Meanwhile, I'm fetching the list.
Say that again.
So you can continue with other. I am fetching the list. Then we can talk.
You're fetching a list of what?
From the Google API.
Okay.
Well, you're going to fetch it from the database, right? That's what you're doing.
So currently, I'm fetching the Google ID from a database.
Okay. Well, let me get that for you.
Okay.
Cooney.
Yeah, there's more than one, but they're all
The one on Roseville.
sure.
Okay. I got the Google ID. I will send it to you. I have the Google ID. I send it to you.
Okay. Google ID.
I saw on Google's website they had 30 categories. That was not 3 years ago. I saw it myself.
I think we discussed about in past also, John. But that time why we not use that they were not accurate category we were getting from the Google earlier.
Well, they're accurate. They were just too broad. Like a restaurant would not tell you what kind of restaurant. It would just say restaurant. But yeah, it had very specific ones like car wash. So and a bunch of specific ones in the automotive category, for instance, but not in the restaurant category. Like they knew, and they said so. They said they knew that they weren't giving. They were basically gatekeeping that information. In fact, I probably still have the browser open because I have so many browsers open. I bet I could find it. So what is this here?
He's just preparing the GraphQL to call the mutation.
My all query get lost from the cache. That's why.
So it's as though he's searching our API for the restaurant Makuni.
Well,
Yes.
yes, but then he's going to grab what comes from the back end.
Okay.
The back end will call Google and he'll output the Google response.
Okay, great. All right. While you're doing that, I want to make sure Ismail has all his questions answered. Ismail, when we were talking about the tagging photos and opening the photo and the notification and whatnot, did you have any more questions about that?
So I guess one question would be is will the URL of the image be returned through that notification?
What do you think, Jerry?
Like, will the URL be returned? Is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be in the notification. If you provide the group key and the topic key, we have.
So we're gonna need the same deep link that we use to take you to a chat. Like let's say just somebody said, hi in a topic.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be the same thing.
Well, that link is just composed of group key and message key, and not message key, topic key.
Correct, because it's still gonna need to navigate you there.
Mm-hmm.
But with the only difference is after it navigates you there, it would open an image.
I mean,
Because you still need to go to that chat, I would assume.
what if we added like a message key as an optional query parameter, and then I can give you a query to get a single message by message key, and then it'll like navigate you to the topic, and then we'll see that a message key is there. Then you'll just call the get message query.
And that's an extra API call.
And it would be a quick one, just get message. And it would only be called in this flow.
I mean, I see. It's just that messages. I don't know if you look at the message flow, it's already kind of very, very complex. I mean, it could work. It's just we'll be adding more to it, which I'm trying to avoid if possible, since it's becoming very hard to maintain, to be honest.
What's hard to maintain?
The chat flow in general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, good news. No problems with the chat with a white screen in conversations right now.
Oh,
So you guys did isolate where the problem lies, but I guess now you still have to do a workaround, right?
not a workaround. How is that affecting start the combo flow?
Well, that's something we could try and trigger. Well, I forgot exactly what we were saying. That we thought it might not trigger start the combo, or what was the going to be?
I think can talk more
Yeah,
about that.
it's gonna so if you go to a profile and that profile you already shared in a conversation, and you go again to that profile and you want to share it again to that conversation, it will not now pull up the history for you.
Okay, well, when you say profile, we talking like a place profile?
Yeah, place profile, for example.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So if I'm in a conversation and I share a place profile,
No, like not in a conversation. Like you already shared that profile in some conversation,
yeah,
and you go from discover or well, or like search or anything, and you go to that profile and try to share it to the same exact conversation that you already shared to, you will not see the history.
I see. It'll make a new duplicate topic or
No,
what?
it's not like that. It's just like visually, like normally, like
Just
you
during the
want.
compose.
Yeah, you will be in compose when you're
And
gonna
then
do a share.
when I
Huh?
hit send, will I see the
No,
conversation?
like before doing send. So like you're gonna do share from a profile. You will see a compose, right?
Yeah,
The compose screen.
yeah,
You will go and select conversation.
yeah.
Let's say that conversation you already shared this profile too.
Mhm.
No, normally you would be seeing the history because you already shared it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some conversation going on.
But
You-
you don't really see it because there's a keyboard and then a share card.
I mean, like it's there. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not like you see it or not, but like if you wanna drop the keyboard and scroll up and down to see the conversation, you would.
Which
But right
actually I
now,
don't even think you can do on the front end. So my question is, the net result is not a duplicate. There's no like the net result still has the same conversation, same history, and everything once I hit send.
yeah, it will be.
I see. So the only thing we sacrifice is the history during the compose.
Yep,
That's no problem.
yep.
That's not a problem at all because you can't even see the history
I
because
mean,
there's a
yeah,
keyboard and a conversation window, like a no, yeah, compose
y-
window.
yeah. We just need now to go confirm it and see it's not crashing the app or anything because like we did not this still last time.
I see. Okay,
Just
so I need I think my user key is one of them, right? So I can try sharing a duplicate topic basically
yeah.
and see if it crashes. Okay, let me try it. Field 47, right?
Yeah, make sure you're on your main account, not your test.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Entertainment profiles should be same, right?
I think so.
Okay. Um, that was interesting. I was in the chat and I hit the share button. It navigated me to the topic. So that's actually good. It didn't let me share it. Like I tried to open it, the duplicate, and it just closed the compose window and navigated me to the topic.
Okay.
Let me try it from
Before
a
doing
profile. What was that?
before you press on send on anything, just did share and
Yeah, it was
maybe we added that. Yeah, we added the
yeah,
logic later.
we must have. Yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as I
Ooh,
select
that's
it.
risky. Though.
Hmm. Okay, but let me try it from a
No,
profile.
I'm saying it has a risk. Well, this is a problem that I've been kind of. I think I've shared it, but we've been kind of putting it on the back burner for now. But when it
Mhm.
comes to these kind of features, we have to remember that we only paginate the first 25 topics. Uh,
True.
so I'm not sure what would happen after that, but that's a problem for later. We do have because like that could affect us in alerts, anything you can deep link to.
Um, I am seeing the history. Oh, I don't want to. I want to keep that. Hold that thought for a second. I want to talk about that more. Um, but on a side note here, I am seeing the history. I went to a profile directly. I mean, and I'm sharing a duplicate essentially.
You see, you seeing a duplicate
Well, no, I see the conversation history from the original
in compose screen.
in the compose screen.
Okay, I will need to look into that code that we removed to make sure like that's what was like from the comment message, like the comments there, that what it's supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
Um, let me go back to that code. It's
Okay.
not like do you like you sent me the PR, that PR where I tried to go and find it in our conversation. I didn't find it.
Mm, I don't think I sent you the PR. I just looked at the commit message that was added, and it had to do with start the combo.
So I was looking into it. Okay, let me try find it again.
Yeah, and I sent a message and everything worked fine. No duplicating or crashing or anything. but I did see the history in the compose. And then yeah, Ismail, let's continue your thought experiment there on what happens if it hasn't paginated, but I'm trying to share something 30 down. What happens?
Mm. Well, I think what would happen is mm, the chat will freeze, not the whole app. Like you can still go back, but the
Mm.
chat window.
See,
Uh,
you have to handle.
so when it comes to that, we just have to think of like a solution, how we can fetch those specific topics. Yeah, that's gonna need a work session on its own, to be honest. Just to kind of like brainstorm with the backend team. Um,
Is that
so
complicated?
I probably want to try to tackle that just now since we have a few things going. Like maybe after I'm done with tags, if you want to like kind of start exploring our options there. But it is going to be a bit of work to get it to work properly. Like we have to really think it through because this affects anything that you can deep link to. What that means is um, alerts, the sharing feature you were
Oh,
just talking
wait.
about.
What about this as a solution? Because it's being interacted with. Why doesn't it just pull it to the front? Like when I
It does. So like that's why you probably didn't even notice this so yeah, until now.
Mhm.
Because if you are or maybe with the share feature it's safe if because oh no actually that one's different. But like for example, notifications is one that would be affected, but you probably never noticed it because every time you get a notification, it moves the chat to the front of the array
Yeah,
or that topic.
right.
But if let's say theoretically you got 30 messages from 30 different topics,
Mhm.
right, which is probably like unlikely, and then you clicked on the first notification you got, it
Mhm.
would theoretically not be in the array because it only pulls the first 25. See what I'm talking about?
I don't know if I do because it
So
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's 100 back.
every message, like let's say you have like 40 topics in the chat,
Yeah,
and I go to topic number 40 and I send a message there.
yeah,
That pushes it to the beginning of the array.
yeah,
So when you click on that notification, even though previously it was at number 40, now it's at number 1.
yeah,
So it would load, no
yeah.
problem.
So everything's fine, right?
Yeah. But let's say, like, this is an unlikely scenario. Let's say you have 30 messages from 30 different topics and you click on the first one. Technically, right now, the first one is number 30, so
Yeah,
it won't be loaded. But that's not where I'm worried about this. If you want to easily see the side effects of this, you can go to a group chat that has a lot of topics that have been created. And if you keep scrolling up in the main chat, you know how you have those preview windows for each topic?
yeah.
You can easily run into a preview window that is after 25 chats. Um, Here, let me share my screen. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, here's one. Perfect. So let me share because I created a bunch of custom groups and topics, and I was working on some flows, so I have a bunch.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me present my phone screen right here. So I'm gonna go here. So now see, I have like a bunch of topics, right?
Yeah.
Like I just paginate. I don't want to paginate because I'm gonna show. So initially we have 25 topics here.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'm scrolling. I have a lot of topics, as you can see,
Yeah.
right? A lot. And then if we scroll enough, we're gonna get to one that's probably after 25, like here.
Yeah.
Let's say I want to click on this topic, it should navigate me to it.
Yeah.
Or this one, let's say, because it has a picture, so we distinguish it. So
Okay.
now I'm going to click on it to go to it. I
Yeah.
just clicked on it, nothing happened. And see, it's frozen. I can't scroll. But I can go back to lobby. Not the whole app is frozen. It's
Yes.
just that deep link froze this chat window. You can even still scroll to another topic. But you can see that, and this goes back to normal. If I click on it again, it will freeze it again. Now, if I do this, and I paginate. Now it's in there, right? So let's
Mm.
theoretically go back. Let's just unfreeze it without leaving the chat by doing this. Now it's not frozen. If I click on it, it will navigate me there.
I see. Um, maybe we don't show previews after 25.
Mm, yeah, that's kind of hiding the problem, but not fixing it.
Well, I'm thinking how much value is there after that? Like, because I mean, if you want
Yeah, it's
the
pretty
top,
high up.
right, the topics are at the top if you want them.
Correct. Um, but yeah, this is just kind of something like we can either work around or try to,
I think
fix.
for now
But
we could work around it. I can't imagine a situation where I'd want to see the preview up 25 topics, like, because if anything, I'll just go to the topic.
yeah, and we can push it to 30 just to make this less likely.
True.
Um,
So
but
we would
really,
paginate.
I don't want to push it more than 30 because it will make the initial load slower.
So paginate after 30.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, and this is something, like I said, it's not crazy because I mean, you probably didn't know about this before I told you about it.
Right.
So you don't really see it in your everyday use, but because I create a lot of topics just for testing purposes, obviously,
Yeah. I see.
I noticed that, and I just thought it could potentially lead to some,
Yeah.
some cases
Eventually.
where the app might freeze, as you just saw. Not the app, the window.
Yeah.
Um, mm, but it is hard to get to those cases.
Yeah. I see. So would we be able to hide the topics after 25?
I mean, that would probably be a back end question because that's how we, they can control what to show and what to not. On the front end side, it's going to be kind of hard to do that.
I see. Jerry, were you following all that?
I was not sorry.
We have a problem potentially of topics after if it hasn't paginated, they're not in the array, and you scroll up in your feed in your chat far enough, it's basically going to freeze the conversation if you tap it because it hasn't been paginated yet. So I proposed we just hide previews after 25
Hmm,
topics.
I see. Well, ooh, let's see. And the topic doesn't come in the message? Like, I thought we include topic data in a main chat
Mm,
message.
I think what he's like referring to is like, you see how this is a chat preview?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this one is kind of tricky because you're not counting the chat previews themselves. So, for example, I can have multiple multiple previews of the same topic.
Right, but it's the
Those will still count
number.
as one topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, number of topics is what.
Right,
But
but
we're going through the number of topics because over here we only get 25. And then like, look, I'm going to be scrolling.
We
right,
already
Boom, I just paginated. You saw that right up there?
right. So 35. So if there were a preview card for 35, in it had
Yeah,
not.
It's
if
actually
it's like over
25.
here, if there like yeah, if there is like here, I can easily reproduce this. So now we're back to only 25 topics. And as I mentioned, if I just kind of go up and I click on a topic, like that's been probably this is a safe one to click on now. Where
Well, what
was
if
it?
I click a push notification? How does that work?
So with push notifications, it's kind of a little different because when you send a message, when you get a push notification, that moves the topic to the beginning of the array.
Like, but what if it's an old notification you click?
Yeah, I was just talking about
Yeah,
John about you'd have to be like 30 or 25 topic different like you'd have to get messages from 25 different topics and click on
from
the
the
first one
same
for that
Correct.
to
same
happen.
group chat.
It's an edge case. I was just calling that out because that's what it sounds like is going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I kind of mentioned that at the beginning too, where anything that has to do with deep linking, you could potentially run into this.
yeah.
deep linking to topics.
The only thing that I could suggest here, Ismail, is if you hmm, you could pass to me. Ooh, this would be like. See, I don't really. I'm not a fan of this. If you pass me the topic keys to the chat that you have loaded, then I will know to exclude a preview card for anything that's not in there. Because I can't just say
Mm,
load top 25 and exclude them because as you scroll up the chat, that can change.
yeah, and see that's where I was telling John this could get complicated quick, and that's why I was suggesting we don't worry about this now because it could potentially mm, it could be time consuming to try to fix this. That's why I've been kind of pushing it back. I know it's not very, it doesn't affect a lot of the users. Like it's a very very edge case in a lot of places. So I would recommend we finish what we're having now since we have multiple things and have this address. Like me and you, Jerry, maybe we can have like a work session and just
As
think about what our best options is,
a
and
safe
then
fallback, could we like just redirect them in the main chat rather than everything freeze?
I mm, I can probably I'll have to see. I'll have to see
Rather
because
than rather than the app freeze, the worst thing I like is they just end up in main chat.
well, even in main chat right now, like I'm in main chat, and if I click on this, it'll try to deep leak me there, which it
If it's
won't. So this will freeze. It won't freeze the whole app. It just freezes this window. I can still go here and here, and that would unfreeze it.
oh, so
But so it's nothing crazy. Like even the side effect of it is not freezing the whole app, it's freezing the window where you have to like leave. Probably most people will try to leave probably, which it will allow them to. Um, so yeah, like I was saying, we need to find a solution. But like again, I'm just saying maybe this is not the right time. I could be wrong. If you guys want to spend time on this, we can. Um, but actually, I would just recommend we probably tackle this.
This started with the other discussion about the notification, and then we removed a little bit of code and the chat history. Like I forget what the connection was there.
The connection was you were trying to share a topic, and it navigated you to that topic.
That's right.
So
Yeah,
if you were trying to share a topic that was probably older,
right.
I don't even know if it probably yeah probably would know it's in the chat. I'm not sure how it works.
I
So
guess to test that, right?
yeah, you guess you can. You have to go back until you paginate, and then after you paginate, you try to find that topic as long as it's not a custom one.
Hello. I need to restart my laptop. I'll be joining in 2 minutes.
You're gonna drop for a minute.
I need to restart my laptop. It's not responding.
Okay.
So I will join in 2 minutes.
Okay. I have a conversation I can test in Ismail with more than 25. I saw it paginate, so I should try and share one from behind the pagination, right?
1 minute.
Yeah, just make sure you get the make sure it's not a custom topic, obviously. Um, and go like exit your chat, remember the name of it, and then try to share it to the exact same chat and see what happens.
Okay.
Um, I'm assuming if it doesn't create a new message, it's not going to push it to the beginning of the array, and then you might run into that situation.
Okay. Let's try. So I'm going to go to the profile itself, or oh no, I'm going to stay in the conversation though. Yeah. Okay. So in the conversation, share button, and I'm going to find the place, which is fire up. Hasn't been shared for a while. It took me all the way there. Actually, wait, it put it at the end. I can't say that it
Put what at the end?
the topic.
Oh, see, that's where I am thinking it might. That was like, mm, did it like update the cache and then started there? Are you sure it was after 20 or after paginated that topic?
Positive.
Okay, so what do you see on your screen now?
I see that I'm at the very, very end of all the topics. So if I were to go left, like scroll left,
Mm-hmm.
it's not all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So it's only showing the first 25.
And then it added this to the end of them.
Yeah.
Interesting. Can you paginate?
No.
So it blocked pagination.
Yeah.
I see.
So now does it create a duplicate?
Well, I mean, it looks like a blocked pagination, so you won't see a duplicate.
Once I hit like send on this,
What do you mean hit send?
like I'm going to send a message into it.
So it doesn't show you the history?
No.
Then
Then
maybe
again,
that's
it's
the
hard
send.
to
Well, it theoretically should show you the history now.
It should, but it's hard to see because like the keyboard is up and the window, compose windows there. But it doesn't. I don't think
Wait,
it's.
I'm confused. How are you seeing it? How are you seeing the topics inside the compose screen? Right, you should be inside the main chat, or not the main chat, inside chat itself. If
Yeah, I am. I'm in.
okay,
Yeah.
so when I say history, I mean, is it showing you your previous messages inside that topic?
No,
But there is messages there, right? There has to be.
there were messages. Yeah,
So you're not seeing the messages. So that means
but
it
I don't.
created a false duplicate.
I think it's like It's just it's the compose as if it's a new share. That's why I'm wondering if it's going to duplicate.
Yeah,
Let me
so
try.
it can cause problems there.
Let me see what happens. I'm going to send.
Okay.
It did not duplicate. Actually, technically, kind of did a little. It made a second share card within the conversation.
I see.
Actually, no, it didn't. I take that back. There was already a second one. There was already a duplicate from April and then July of last year. So I take that
Oh,
back.
is that when we supported two share topics for
Yeah,
a
it did
while?
not duplicate. It sent the message. Everything worked properly. Nothing's frozen. It is at it. In fact, after I sent paginated the next 25. So I have 25 to the left and 25 to the right.
This is after you hit send.
Yeah. So it
So
worked.
the messages showed that were not showing before, but after you hit send.
Yeah.
Probably because it refetched the API.
So I would
Okay,
say
well, that's the side
listen,
effect the user is going to have where it's not going to show them.
well, you can't see it anyway with a keyboard, and you can't swipe the keyboard down anyway. Like I think it's
But we're not talking about okay, I think okay, when I say, I'm not talking about the compose here at all. I'm talking about after. Like the side effect is not going to be inside the compose screen, it's going to be after you're inside the chat.
after I hit send, I'm in the topic with all the conversation history.
Okay, well, you confused me because you were telling me it was at the end of the topics, but you were still in compose. So how did you know that?
I could scroll the topics still.
While you're in compose?
Yeah. Yeah, you can still
Oh,
scroll.
wait, what?
Yeah, because you have to be in the conversation. Yeah. So like no, go to a conversation. Not this. This is not how I did it. I'll try this next. But go to a conversation from your lobby. Yeah. So like
Okay.
here, if you were to hit the share button,
Oh, from here.
yeah, and then pick a place that you already have a topic for, that all worked perfectly. I wouldn't change anything.
Oh, okay. I see. I see. Okay, now you were confusing me. That's not what I was referring. I was kind of talking about. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's another point.
I
Okay,
did.
it's good to know
But
that
try
that
it.
works.
Yeah, but try it. You'll see it. You can pick one of a topic that's way back, and it didn't. And it still does paginate. So hit the share button.
I need to share about it.
Yeah, and then like entertainment, and just pick.
Well, I
Just
have to find something that I've shared before.
okay.
Oh, most of them are crystal. What is this? Is this a
Okay.
book or it's a
Okay.
podcast? It looks like. Okay. I have to go back so it doesn't. If it's not paginated.
It was
Oops.
cybercrime junkies. I would type one more word. There's gonna be a lot of cyber crime. I would type crime out. Keep going. It's a common. Those are common words. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh wait, go ahead.
There it is. See, so now,
So it
and you
looks
see,
like it's a new topic where theoretically it shouldn't have the compose to begin with.
well, but it works because first of all, the keyboard would be up, and you can still scroll your topics up there. You'll notice, but it didn't paginate. You don't have all 25.
Yeah, but the thing is, this shouldn't even be a compose. So I guess that's the bug in here.
I don't see why not. I mean,
Because it should be, so let's say, because this topic already exists. So if we go here and if we kind of paginate it, okay. So now if we try to do the same thing, oops, muscle memory for how many times I did that. Um, okay, so now it should see it should navigate you to it. That's the original behavior.
hmm, I see.
So it composed it because it thought
Hmm.
that doesn't exist.
Right, but it still was functional.
Yeah,
Like it didn't break anything. Like I still could send my message, and my message still went in the topic. And
I guess. I guess it'll behave the same with the other topics too. So I
yeah,
guess it won't freeze it. I guess it
right.
only freezes it in the scenario that I had where if you click it inside main chat.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's not what we originally how we were like. Yeah, there was an extra step. The
Yeah. Now
composer
we
it
didn't
shouldn't
try it
technically be there.
the way you were about to do it. We didn't try that where you went to the chat button. I don't know if that's gonna be any different. Like if you go back to your lobby and then hit the plus chat, I don't know if this is gonna be any different. If we're gonna have
Yeah, let's save.
now that one isn't paginated, but
And then we do the same thing.
yeah, except that one's at the front of the array.
Well, I know I never sent anything in that, so
Thought you
that's
did.
still
You didn't? Oh, okay. So it's at the
yeah.
back. Okay, cool.
Yeah, looks like it's
So
trying
it's
to.
history, right?
This is the main chat still.
That's the main chat. The keyboard will be up.
The keyboard will be up like this, yeah.
So you're not gonna even see that.
But let's just do tests here. This will move it to the beginning of the array, and uh, and it looks like it's kind of got messed up. It's not
It
really.
did. You're not in main chat, but it's previewing in a topic. So that's not.
Yeah. So that happened. Wait, what?
So there's a problem.
Yeah. If I go back, it'll probably fix itself, which it did.
Yeah.
And then if I go back here and I try to do it, let's see how it should work if it is paginated. Okay. So I guess it does that anyways. Does that look you always had?
What
Let
was
me
that?
see. It looks like it's still doing the same thing.
Oh,
Even though now it's at the beginning of the array. So let's see what happens.
huh.
Is this a bug we've had?
All right, that's a good question.
It looks like we have a cache problem here. I'm getting an.
Is this an ongoing bug?
It looks like it.
Okay.
Missing field member count while writing to the group. So it looks like we have some kind of cache error as well. I don't know if this will fix it or not, but it's an error nonetheless that needs to be
Yeah.
addressed. So I don't know. Yeah, it looks like this is ongoing, not related to what we have. It's there.
But we got
Period.
to deal with the the problem we were considering earlier anyway. So maybe we just deal with it all.
Mm, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let me look more into this. Let me see if I can find. Well, I need to look into this bug, but I'll also look into this whole thing in general, the freezing part, and maybe I don't know, have a conversation with Ahmed or Jerry, see what's the best way to go about this because it is tricky.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, I'll kind of how about this? I'll see all the possible cases, how they affect us, and maybe I'll have a list and see what we want to address and if we
Okay.
want to have back end integration or just kind of hide it on the front end.
Okay.
We'll go from there.
All right. Lots of
Yeah, but that's
sort
what I'm saying. Where this book can get like a little messy and time consuming because you have to test it from like 3 or 4 different spots.
yeah, true. Okay. Well, all right. So then, yeah, why don't you look into that, and then I guess we still it's unresolved. I mean, that code that you removed, um, you expected me to not be able to see the conversation history.
Yeah, sorry for that. Like when I went again to the code and see it, it's like it's not if you're gonna share from anywhere, but like if you're gonna share from start convo or share the log.
Oh, right. Okay. So not just from only from there. So
Yeah,
from there, you wouldn't see the history,
yeah, you wouldn't see the history now.
but you would still see it once you send.
Yep.
Okay. And no problem with paginating topics.
Um, I don't think that's an issue there. Like, or we have even to handle paginating topics there.
Okay. Okay. Then, yeah. So I guess we're in a good spot where we should, um, I guess, just remove that code for everybody. What do you think?
Um, so we don't want to see history there.
In the start the combo.
Yep.
Um, no, because it's not even really intended for
Yeah, it's like for
new users. Yeah.
mm,
So yeah, we don't need it. Um, and it just extra potential defect, like where complication could happen.
it was only that.
Yeah, but in other words, um, it doesn't do anything else besides that. Like it's not we're not losing anything else by removing it, right?
Yeah, no. It's only like pulling the history.
I see. But we still pull the history elsewhere if I were to just find your
Yeah,
name.
yeah. That code is only for that place for the start convo and share the log.
Okay, good. Okay, then yeah, we should remove it everywhere. So, um, can you you need to do PR? So like remove the user keys that were hard coded and just do a more universal.
Yeah, I added those user keys. I can remove them.
You'll do that,
So,
Ismail? Okay.
yeah.
And then are you going to remove the code or I mean?
I mean, I just have to remove the user keys, make it public, and I'll submit a PR. It should take like 5 minutes. It's not a big deal.
The
I
code
see.
is yeah. I think the code might be already removed. That's why you have it work there. Right,
Okay.
Ismail?
No, the code I had of a condition, it would basically
Oh,
skip
okay.
that.
Mm-hmm.
It would skip that logic if one of 3 people
Mm-hmm.
access it, and one of them is John. So now I'm gonna have everybody skip that logic.
Okay. Is skip the logic the right way or remove the code?
Well, skipping it, removing it. It's I say skip because I didn't remove it, but now I will remove it.
You will remove it. Okay. I
Yeah.
like it. Okay.
Or I can keep it in a comment in case we want to add it back later if we find, oh, there's a problem. Like the comment will still be there of the code, but it won't be functional.
I see. Okay, whatever you think's best.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, then so then what else do you have going on? I mean,
For me, Friday I was like fixing on the sharing issue for badges. Remember, like for Android, we were like sharing a screenshot, not a screenshot, like an image of the badge and everything. But all that was
Yeah,
removed. So I
that's
worked
right.
on, yeah, I worked on brought it back, and there was some code, like some native code that needs to go there. I'm not sure if it's man, if you remember it, like you worked on this when sharing an image with the SMS drawer for Android. We needed to see that preview inside the SMS drawer of for Android, and all that code was removed. So I had to brought it back, but this time it was like different because now we're using Expo, and if you want to use any native code, you need like to follow their rules, like Expo modules rules. So yeah, I've done all of that for SMS, and it's like I just still have one error that's there, but like the code is everything written there and everything. It's just like how I'm gonna say it. It's not like an error, it's a blocking, but yeah, I mean I need to fix that error, but it's not like something big. It's just something small. But like for iOS, it just works fine. They were like for iOS, like we don't have to handle anything with any native code. Just works out of the box. Just Android. Yeah, there was that, and yeah, and today I will need to look into that issue. Jerry sent me. It's about like a universal link that should be taking the user to a topic, but it's not. So like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, we
yeah,
never tested that. I kept forgetting to test that. So it doesn't navigate you into the custom or the topic.
yeah, it does not. So I will need to look into that today.
Okay. The first thing you were describing around what was that about? Photos you were saying? I forget what
Like
you're.
if you're gonna share a badge, like only
Oh yeah, like on Instagram.
yeah, like Instagram works. It's the SMS that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And for iOS, I did some changes. Those changes, like the first changes, they just worked for iOS out of the box. But for Android, if you're gonna just share that badge, like nothing's gonna be there. Like will be no image preview or anything inside the SMS app, the messaging app. For Android, like there's another handling you have to do, and all of that needs to be done in native side, like code.
Yes,
And that's what I was working on Friday.
I see. So you still have more to do that.
Um, I would say it's 90% done. It's not like more. It's like everything there, just like finishing up things.
For the SMS part of it, is still under construction. Or you
Yep,
got that part?
yep, yep. That one specifically for Android.
Specifically, great, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Then there was that deep universal link, and what else? Did we get some
Um,
stuff knocked down
mhm.
on Friday? And what do we have that's high priority?
I think I worked on all of those. Let me see. No, like things that were a high priority for me, they were all like in the last build.
Okay. Okay, good. Um, I have some small things, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, as long as I'm trying to remember if there was something. Let me check.
Yeah, I
Development.
have some notes here. Like, there's an issue we wanted to fix. It's the one you showed me about the show me how screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a note through that we need to fix it. Like it's about like because like
Oh yeah.
everyone that's opened
Right.
the app keeps pressing the tab, the message tabs icon and triggers
Right.
that screen. So we said like we're gonna change how we're gonna trigger it. So I have that note on how we're gonna do it. With that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Is there anything else? Let's see. In development. Yeah.
Oh,
What's up?
Yeah. If Amin is kind of free, I think I have a kind of a request or a good task for him.
Mhm.
But do you know the wheel in the map in which if you spin the wheel, you actually select the stuff, but if you press on it, it doesn't select.
I was trying to work on that while I worked on other feature, but I don't think I'm the right person for that. At least I couldn't proceed further on that end. So perhaps that is a good thing for me because at least, for example, I see that Shinto, that is a person that is really used to the app, always spins, whereas me, I tend to press more. So at some point, I got stuck like for more than an hour trying to figure how to get someplace, but I couldn't because I was pressing instead of spinning, and that's pretty confusing because it should work right when pressing. So I think perhaps that's a good high priority feature to be working on.
So you're saying the wheel wasn't navigating you properly? Wells?
Yes, sir. I can demonstrate that here, for example,
Okay.
real quick. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I go here, for example, favorites, and I press on
Here.
entertainment, then
Yeah.
nothing happens. But actually, if instead of that, actually instead of spinning the wheel, let me just go back into the same flow. So if I go here from favorites and I actually spin until the couch, then it works.
I see. Only in this view, not from the home screen default
Yeah.
wheel.
Yeah. I remember working on it back day and kind of fixing this issue on the
Yeah.
main app,
I think
but
this
on
might be,
this one I couldn't get it.
this might be better for Amin to look at. Yeah. Um, Amin, would you know how to repair that?
So the issue, we want the wheel to behave the same as the spinning if a user press on the icons.
Yeah, and a weird thing I mean is that I was looking into the code and the on press and on select, which is uh, the handler for when you tap on the icon versus the handler for when you spin into the icon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they both have the same code on the end, but for some reason they don't run the same. So I believe the issue might be inside of the drawer itself, inside of the wheel itself.
Okay. Yeah, and okay, so we want the spinning and the selection to be behaving the same. Now it's not.
Yeah, I think so. Right,
Okay.
Jen?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be like it doesn't. I know on the home screen, the default action it spins the wheel to the top position real quick before it navigates you. Like demonstrate that real quick, Wells. If you go home,
Mm-hmm.
so go back, and then bring the wheel up. If you tap, yeah, like if you tap the home services one,
Yeah.
not this one, but
Services like
just yeah, any one now. It'll rotate the wheel first, then bring
Mm-hmm.
you here.
did you see rotating the wheel?
It doesn't necessarily need to rotate. I
Uh-huh.
don't. I mean, unless it needs to. Does it make it easier on things? I mean, to rotate the wheel.
Um. Well, I'll have to look into that code and revisit and see what's going on there. See if it's easier just to rotate it.
Because it's like you don't even really see it rotate anyway. It rotates so fast.
Yeah.
Um, so on the next screen, like if you hit the favorites button, Wells,
Like here?
scroll down on swipe down. I mean, on the
Like
drawer.
here.
Yeah, the favorites right there. So this one, like now tap a one, and you not entertainment. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Right, it doesn't spin.
Well, here because it's different because it's like it swipes down and allows this other wheel to gain in.
Yeah. Where was the problem? I guess the problem was on a target user profile because it seemed like that worked okay. Right. Wells, if you're on your own profile, it seems like that worked okay. But
Yeah, I don't think so because um I think it worked for that one, but for example, for the entertainment, I believe even if I am in my profile, then when I click there, you see
uh,
nothing happened.
so that's a problem there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me
Mhm.
try actually swiping to the house here to see if it's different. Oh, dang it. There we go. So yeah, it seems that when I press, it's different from when I spin into it for that one. So if I spin, it will be selected, but there I don't have the subcategories, so I would have to press here to have them.
Mhm. But it would
Whereas,
update. It actually would update the map if you had results.
mhm, yeah, whereas here we have this, and if I click, we have nothing.
Yeah, so it does update the results.
Yeah, so I was looking at it because I am currently working on this screen. But I for this subcategory wheel that comes from the drawer, I couldn't get the same result as I did on the map.
Mhm.
Right, here. 'Cause here I remember we had this problem of when you pressed it, it wouldn't change, but now it actually does. So this seems to be fine, I believe. Yeah, see, changed. But this wheel is different from the other one.
Mhm.
That's different from this. So I couldn't necessarily get a hold on why when we press here, for example, on entertainment, we don't have the entertainment screen popping up.
Yeah, that is a defect for sure. We
Yeah.
want
And also I don't know, I might be wrong, but perhaps when I press on the house I should when I spin into the house I should see the other categories just like when I press, shouldn't I?
not necessarily. No, we would show all of the results, all the subcategories for that one, unless you wanted to tap it and to see an individual subcategory.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean. So restaurants
Oh,
is
well,
an
it's not
example.
selected.
Yeah, like if you would go to the restaurants one,
Okay. Oh, how do I get back once I'm here?
you can swipe
I
the.
just want to make a caveat on that with the ones that we talked about. We talked about it only being like food and drink and nightlife. There was very specific ones because you don't want to be looking at realtors and attorneys and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. That it was only specific ones that we wanted to do it from a high level.
Yeah.
Nice.
Once we once we get the basic function working, then we can get more detailed. But right now, it's not even getting like the entertainment to work if you tap it, and
Yeah.
so I think I mean you'd probably be best to look at this.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I felt like I had another question about this, but now I don't remember. What were we talking about? Was there anything else you needed here, Wells?
No, sorry for interrupting.
That's okay. Okay, so then what were we talking about right before that? I mean, the
Yeah, I just told you about the other note that we have.
yeah, which one?
Then show me how.
That's right. That was that. Maybe I came across something. Let's see. Okay, nothing too crazy. Hold on one sec. Okay, sorry. So let's see. Um I want to stay as efficient as we can. We're making great progress lately, and I just don't want to work on stuff that's low value compared to the high value. And looking at my notes real quick, there's a lot of different directions we can go. um, let me get a couple more updates here, and then I want to go through my notes with you guys, and because some of these things might be very simple, and we can do those first. But let me finish with Amit here, because you got your hand up there, Amit, and you were looking into those categories.
Yes, John. So we are using map.google place API, and that is also returning type, but that doesn't have support the newly types there. So let me share my screen.
So we're using an API that didn't support it.
Yes.
Aha, that's what I
So,
also been asking.
so,
Like, I'm sure there's not a different API.
so this is a newly API newly introduced by the Google.
How new?
It's I think when see I just sent him Tor. Recent dates introduced.
When?
That exact date I don't know. So here, see I place API and now Google introduced new place API. Earlier we were using Map API.
I see.
Both are part of the Google Maps platform, but they serve different API and different have distinct purpose. Places this is mainly used for the place details.
It
Mhm.
Okay.
says February 2024.
Okay, so it's been like
Mm.
a little over a year. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm not crazy. All right. Um, that opens the door to a lot more possibilities now, which is not
So
exactly the rabbit hole I want to
this
go down. But yeah, go ahead.
this place API have more details like as compared to Map API.
Right, right. They stopped gatekeeping. Maybe they're worried about getting antitrust lawsuits against them for monopoly power. Well, whatever their reasoning, I'm glad they finally came around because it's been freaking nightmare trying to map theirs to ours, and or like, well, they don't really give us many, so it's a black box
But
and
so we need to enable access for the new API. So Danny, can you please enable access for it? So when I try to call that API using our API key, so we are getting place API new has not been used in project
You want to
before or
send me that?
enable it.
I don't think Danny's gonna call if you can send me that error.
Okay, okay.
what do you need from him?
Well, I can.
Uh,
I probably have access to update this. Is why.
Okay.
I'm-
Okay. And now simply swapping these out is not going to be a good idea, right? Because we may have all kinds of conflicts.
Oh no, there definitely needs to be a migration of testing.
Yeah. Okay.
and so for when we migrate to place new API, we will use version 2. Jerry, what you say? We'll get version 2 endpoints.
Okay. Yeah, we have to check that.
Okay. Okay. Well, um, currently nothing's broken, and I don't like fixing things that aren't broken. It can be improved, but the amount of work and team resources it's going to take to do it for the gain that it results in is disproportionate.
Well, eventually it doesn't translate if we're using that old API for maybe there's things we're using in there that even aren't even in the new API, possibly. Who knows? Might
Well,
cause more problems too.
yeah, we got a pretty good reliable system because we used a combination of Yelp's categories and Google's and our own to pretty much cover everything you think of. So now we have all the categories for most part. Sometimes you might type burger and it doesn't realize it's hamburger, things like that. But almost every category should be represented. Not everyone. I'm sure there's like probably
Most. Yeah.
yeah. But the problem was we don't search the Yelp API, we search Google API, and that was where the gymnastics took place to match theirs to ours. Is this something you could play with and test with in our
Yes,
project
yes,
without
yes,
breaking?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah, I can do it. So
Yeah.
let me send this.
Ideally, I'd like to. Well, I'd like to see how well they map, just like on a first pass. Um, do we get like 90% mapping accurately? Like, sushi is going to be probably be sushi in ours and in Google's, but then there's going to be ones where we have car rental and they have car rentals, plural, right? So there might be little things like that, um, or so you're gonna have to look at that, and then also I'll leave it there. There's a lot more layers to this, but let's start with how well does it map across.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will send this to Danny. So in your
I think Jerry was gonna help you.
okay.
Yes.
So Jerry, I'm sending it to you.
And send me the API key too.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks on it. Okay, so then, Bells, let's continue with your update. I don't think I sent you I had a little screenshot. Did I send you the one? Maybe I did send it to you. The glow glow was not showing at the top of the winner circle.
Yes, sir, I sent it, and that is intended. It was removed on a PR because it was interfering with the typical area of the upvote you see up there.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I showed you once on screen recording, and there is a PR currently for bringing it back, but actually now smaller and without interfering with the show more and without interfering with the upvote.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so on that end should be cool.
Okay. What else do you have going on?
Sure. So there were two PRs merged, and there are two more PRs for review. And I'm working in some extra stuff right now. So the PRs that were landed were the ones that handled the show more, now showing the total amount of trust tips left on a profile. So now the user will know how many trust tips there are left, and they can choose to press on see more to actually continue see more, or they can scroll directly to the winner circle and see the winner circle there.
Okay.
And now the levels tasks are pressable, and we can navigate the user to where we want. So for example, on that first level in which the task is for you um, to change your profile picture, we now landed the PR in which you can press on the task and it will navigate you to the screen. And
Nice.
now we can do that on all the other tasks as well. So
Yeah.
perhaps that's the thing we might want to do forward, doing a quick mapping on where we want the user to be moved to. So the level screen is fully interactable and all the tasks are
Yeah, that's
pressable.
great. Which so right now it's currently just add your profile picture. You can tap that one, but what
Yes,
about
sir. Right now it's just level one.
okay, so if I wanted to say favorite a place, like it could take me to search for a place, right?
Exactly. We can take you to Spotlight Entertainment Search or Spotlight People Search and that kind of thing.
I like that a lot. That's great. Let's start at level 2
Uh-huh.
and let's do left to right. Yeah, go ahead and tap on that. And then left to right would be favorite a place.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, so
then
this one should take you to Spotlight
the
place,
search
right?
the search screen. If you
Okay.
go home,
Okay, just a sec. My machine is kind of dying right now.
okay. And then
To-
tap the search bar on the lower left corner,
Okay,
places.
okay, so this is
It
the
should
screen.
take you here.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then let's go back to the levels.
Uh-huh.
And then the second one would be entertainment.
Uh-huh. So
So
same
that's
thing.
yeah, like if you hit the couch on the wheel.
Exactly. Oh, if you hit the couch on the wheel. I see.
Yeah, what were you thinking it would be?
I was thinking on here. So search and entertainment.
I think that's the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Um actually no, it's slightly different. Let me see which one would be better. Let me think about this for a second.
So what?
I'm thinking which one's better. Let's see. Are they different? Yeah, they
Jerry,
are.
did something happen
They're-
with the backend regarding the training check-ins?
What's that?
Did something happen with the backend regarding the training check-ins?
No, not to my knowledge.
It's
you-
working good.
Oh, this on QA.
This is in Kuwait, yeah.
I wonder if it's just there were no check-ins recently in the. I hate saying
That makes sense.
we did.
Yeah, because he did change it recently in production. Well, I guess across the board.
Yeah.
It's only last 7 days.
check in, and that should.
Yeah, it looks good in production. What are we looking at, or what are we doing now?
Gyros.
I answered your question.
Okay.
Yeah, so check into something, and maybe data will come in there.
Okay. Yeah. So
And then thirdly, yeah, that one there should take you to the spotlight, people finder screen, whatever we call that.
okay. Yeah. That's good.
Okay, great.
And favorites. Level
Uh,
3.
Well, that probably could be like if you tap the magnifying glass. So it would bring up the 3 choice. Yes, it's a lottie. That one could be a little trickier, maybe not. Go home.
Yeah. Let's focus on level 2 then, and
That's
then
what I was just
after
saying.
that we're proceeding level 3.
Yeah, let's just do left to right on the level 2 for now.
Yep. And also regarding the updates, there are 2 PRs open. Let me change the visualization on the screen here so I can better show you that. Okay. So right now there is a PR open for fixing the flare. So if you see here, this red area is where the previous flare was.
That's right. I remember now.
Yeah, so you were interfering with the upvote and with the show more button. That's why it's temporarily removed. And now this PR adds it back, and now the area around it is like this. So it doesn't interfere with anything, and it looks like this. So I also made some adjusts and made sure that it looks even more closer to what it is on the design.
That looks great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this is for review. And also we have the permanently closed. So if a place is permanently closed, we will show you here permanently closed.
Nice. Great.
Yep.
That's very helpful. That is super helpful, actually, because some places, like where I have my Airbnb, there was a fire and a lot of places are permanently closed, and we had no way of displaying that. So that's good.
Mhm. And right now I'm currently working on the CL on favorites, and also I was taking a look into this investigation here into which why when we tap we don't have the screen, but when we scroll we have. Because it kind of seems like an easy fix, right? Because it works when you scroll, when you spin,
Mhm.
but not when you tap. But actually, it goes deeper and deeper. So
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have Amine look at, right?
exactly.
Okay.
And I'm working on having this CL button here, but it is a little bit more tricky in here because it is kind of hard to figure out where stuff comes from, where stuff goes, or where the data comes from, where the screen comes from. Because see if I hit back, I get navigated back to home, but actually that screen it is inside of here, so it pops up instead of the map here. So there is some navigation happening and the where the data come from, that kind of thing. So it's kind of a little bit tricky to figure the stuff here to actually make the CL work, but I'm making good progress, I believe. So
Okay.
I intend to continue working on this.
Cool. Good. So that's next, right? The see all button.
And do you want me to perhaps focus on the levels first?
Um. The see all as a defect.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's get the defect fixed first.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. And then we'll do the levels.
Yes, sir. And then, yeah, I think that's oh,
Okay. Cool. It's looking good. Thank you, Wells.
awesome. Thank you.
I do have one more question for you, though.
Okay.
It might be for somebody else. We talked about it briefly. Here, let me share my screen. And Jerry might have input too. I can't remember if how we were going to resolve it. One sec. Where is the share screen button? Oh, yes, weird little arrow thing. Okay, got it. Okay, so can you guys remind me on this one? Let's see. This there was a mismatch here. The heart should be red.
Yeah, on the Mama, did you get the chance to look into this? Yeah, Wells, could you send Amit the query that pulls this? I
Yes,
think
yes, we check it. It is a problem from the app side. So, we are like returning is requesting user favorite and same time to check that properties.
Will you
Sorry, please.
send that to him in Slack on it?
Okay, okay.
And when he checks it, what's he looking for?
So requesting user favorite and requesting user favorite that flag there inside query.
Okay.
So that from the backend it is coming correctly, but app side it is showing wrong.
Uh, are you looking into that, Wells?
Yes, sir. Trying to figure the how are we matching the the favorites that you have favorited? How we
Okay.
show that?
Okay. Then I have a question for Amine on this screen here. This is the reason I wanted to show you is that we got a couple things happening. If I type a message here and then I come back through the alerts, it caches it. And also, if I tap send here, it does not send, it drops the keyboard, which reveals the emojis, which is kind of weird. So I know you worked on this before where instead of dropping the keyboard, dismissing it, we would just send from here. And also when I hit send, there's no toast or anything. Like it just jumps to the next screen.
I didn't work on the front connect much. I don't.
I
So
know, but the keyboard part, that part you did.
inside the screen front connect.
Well, no, just in the app.
Okay.
Because you have a method. I know the keyboards are tricky, and
Mm-hmm.
you have a solution for it. The other stuff, I think Ismail could probably deal with the other, but at least on the tap here, it should hit send and a toast. Maybe Ismail could do the toast, but
Like the keyboard should stays up. It should not be dismissed.
it should actually it navigates you to the friend connect. So like here you can see if I tap it, see how it dropped it, and then it's like
Mm-hmm.
assault.
Yeah, I see.
I'm
It
right
should-
here.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
So
So
it should not be like yeah, I get you. Well, I have to see there. if are we dismissing the keyboard like explicitly? Are we doing it?
No, remember it's default, right? Every time
It
is that React
depends
Native?
sometimes. It depends sometimes. So I'll have to look there and see.
Okay, I'll send this to you as a
Mhm.
note. Um, okay, so then and the cache part that probably be Ismail could look at that. Um, why did I circle skip? I forget why. This was only Thursday, and now I don't remember why I circled skip. It'll come back to me. I think maybe
If it's not working,
no, it worked. I think it just was like hard to see it. Like I felt stuck here. I can imagine other users
mm,
maybe stuck here. We'll start with the bigger parts of it, like because this whole thing was an odd flow, and I have seen people kind of get stuck here and then not know what to do next. So we need a single tap send, and then something that validates like message sent, and then it starts into this. So I'll send it to you as a note, and then I'll send Ismail the other parts of that. Let's see what else I have. Oh yeah, we're working on that. I think most everything is looking good. I wanted to change the wording here because it's like says click OK, but really it's tap. You should say tap. It should say sorry. It should say tap continue. These are little things, but we'll get in. I want to spend a day cleaning up little things. Maybe it's not today because we have some bigger things, but there's like a lot of little things in that favoriting flow. I've been talking about doing that too. Um, and then on a side note too, Jerry, if you're paying attention, this one user key that I circled invited 3 people who accepted, and it kind of occurred to me that okay, so, and I think most of the invitees didn't allow contacts,
Mhm.
but because the inviter is like a common person to them, I
That's
bet we could. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying that's Zane.
Okay,
I'm just giving you context. Sorry.
okay, but nevertheless, like if somebody invites 3 people and they all join, but they don't share contacts, the inviter, um, well, let's say one of them, like I should say, let's say one of them shares contacts, which I think is what happened here. I think the first one did.
Mhm.
Uh, there's a connection now between the other 2 because they all got invited by the same person. But in our case, we didn't really have suggestions for the other 2 because
Hmm.
you know what I mean? So like I bet we could get more accurate recommendations, suggestions by looking at the inviter, a common inviter.
Okay.
Does that track for you? Like, do you think we'd be able to?
Yeah. I would like to know. You 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 should let me know what weight that gives.
Right, exactly. And you can see here 54435 also has common um, people. Like they have they have an inviter in common. I don't know who that is.
Let's see.
Might be Bar West. I mean, it's not
That's
necessarily.
yes. Yeah. Then that. I mean, I don't know. If that's
That's not going to help us. It would be more in the case of like somebody invites a bunch of their friends.
yeah. It is Bar West.
Yeah. So that's not necessarily the best example, but there will be cases where one person invites 5, 6, 7 friends.
Which even still, the Bar West case could. I mean, it could work. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's better than nothing.
I mean, it's people that they could commonly all go to Bar West.
True.
Yeah, so there's still kind of some connection. I feel.
Yeah. So I want to look into that. That's why I made a note of it. Doesn't have to be today, but um, we can get into that later. So let's see. I think that's most everything I wanted to go over. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, let's leave it at that, and then we can probably find some time to go through any kind of little enhancements once Amine, if you feel like you've gotten through like all the top priority stuff, can we let's set a time, maybe maybe as soon as tomorrow, where we can go through all these little things and clean up. And I want to try and get one more production build that doesn't necessarily include the tagging photos, because I know that's going to be a bigger test case, but there's still some minor defects to work out, and then maybe some cleanup by tomorrow, Wednesday at the latest.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's try and make that a goal for this week, to get the last, because there's still the code that you're removing, or Ismail's removing, for the chat. That's a
Mhm.
potentially a really big defect that's still there for everybody except Zane and me and Danny. So I want that in there, and then we'll do some cleanup. So let's have a very short sprint, if you will, for this, and then we'll get the last production build before the bigger features around um, the tagging photos and whatnot. That'll be the plan for this week.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Then in the meantime, we've got a lot of stuff we're doing. I got to get together with Danny and our external team here. There's a lot of moving parts. Jerry, is there anything else you want to add, or any questions you have before we drop anything from anybody?
No, Danny's not here. I was gonna I know he wanted to bounce off some ideas for that affiliate program, but I could just I'm not it's not blocking anything. I just know he had some ideas.
Okay. Um, he should be available. Meet up with him later. Todd, are you going into McClellan?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll see you there too. And then, yeah, if you have anything, Jerry, you need, just let us know. We'll be available all day.
Yep, cool. Yep, nothing's blocking me. Just working with Ayod on some chat admin stuff, and also poking through those things he sent me over the weekend with like the report and stuff.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Great. Well, we are doing really, really well right now. It's looking very good out. Like, everybody in this region knows that Circles is blowing up right now. Like, everyone's talking about it. It's pretty cool. So we've definitely proven the concept. It's now a matter of scaling and expanding to cities and communities outside of our home base. And that's kind of our focus for the next few weeks, couple months, and we should see this go. I mean, it's been going really fast here. I would like to see this kind of exponential geometric growth now that we have some formulas we can expand with.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know one of the things a lot of people that I have, and I mean, y'all could bring this up, is when you really want to expand out of the state, is the rewards for like how can we expand the rewards?
Yeah, we need a better method for like a self input kind of thing from businesses, where it's not like us reaching out to them,
Mm-hmm.
but they have like a little portal where I envisioned a basic system where it's like they have an item and they could give either a percentage off or a dollar amount off, and then they upload a photo, and it's just like a very straightforward, like they fill in a few blanks, add a photo, and we do the rest. It puts it at the right level based on some formula. Of course, we would approve everything, but
We should have a more, because when we really get to scale, we should really have more of a built out, I would call it a storefront. Because that carousel, you might be missing a lot of stuff if you're on that carousel once we really open the gates to the rewards.
yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Have you noticed we're getting like way more rewards claimed every day than
Mhm.
before?
Yeah, like people around here, they're like, "Oh, I can get a pop sock," and you're like, "Oh, cool, I can get a tomahawk steak in Sacramento."
I know. We're gonna get there. Yeah, it's just like need 10 times more people on the
No,
team.
That's the problem. I was like, I know we've talked about it 100 times, but there's only so many developers.
Yeah, we'll get there. I think hopefully the next round of funding will level us up to where we could expand that
Mhm.
somewhat of a sales team that can do outreach and all that.
Yep.
But an automated system would go a long way because that way, like, it's self-directed for the businesses too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I would say we do want to improve that storefront though, because let's imagine you have like 50 rewards in level 3.
Yeah. Well, and also we should limit it by geographic region, right? You shouldn't see a restaurant in
Yeah, so my
Sacramento.
people are seeing, oh, I can get a tomahawk in Sacramento.
Right. All right. Is that fairly easy going forward if we wanted to hide it geographically?
Yeah, well, that's kind of how I built it out from the start. Just we just never like. I think it's actually just hidden right now, if I recall.
But it still shows tomahawk steaks in Sacramento to New
Well,
Orleans.
like the geographical like functionality. I believe
I
that's
see.
hidden for now.
I see. So we could enable it.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Chantel?
Hey, so I just am reading an email, a bug, which I would find to be a big bug.
Mhm.
And essentially, this guy had, sorry, he had invited his wife into the app, and he did it right. I looked at his screenshot. He got the text sent to her. But when she onboarded into his account, and then he deleted his account, cleared the cache, all of that. And when he logged into his own account, it showed her information.
So she took his verification code.
Think no, I think that's just they're using the same phone number.
No, he put in her phone number. She clicked the link, puts in her information. Basically, he sent her the invitation via the text, proper way. It has like our preview message, all of that. She clicks it, she downloads it, and essentially their account swap on the phone.
That doesn't sound right. Could you send me their session replays? Do you have their phone numbers? I can pull their session replays.
I can get the phone numbers for you.
Yeah, if you send me the phone numbers, I could pull the session replay and we
Okay.
can see what happened rather than just relying on the screenshots totally.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. It does sound like something's not adding up, but
Yeah,
we
I
can-
mean, that would freak me out if I logged in on my account and someone else's information is up there.
yeah, it sounds like they did something they probably weren't supposed to do, though. I imagine.
Maybe. Yeah, it apparently he uninstalled, cleared the cache, and redid the process.
But
A
they're
couple
sharing
times.
a
Yeah.
phone or sharing an account in some way. Well, we'll see. Jerry,
Yeah.
let me know what you find out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool,
So
cool.
I will get all that information over.
Okay, very good. Okay, I mean, just keep in touch with me throughout. If you have time later today, even I can make some time to go through some small stuff. Otherwise, we can start tomorrow on it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. And then Ismail, you're looking into those bugs that we found around the topic creation and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into those, and I need to get that PR out to remove the user keys,
Mhm.
remove that code, and but yeah, I think I didn't give my updates about what's it called, tagging. I made really good progress. I
Oh,
kind of on a phase where I added invites.
oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, and so I think the way it works is that the backend doesn't return um, the user key. Well, I did have a question about that. Does it still show pink for people who are who for other people? And that's if, let's say, I
Well,
tag somebody who's not in Circle, it's an external user, it would have that plus.
yeah, only to the a user who has that person's contact in their contacts.
Okay, that's different. Okay. But I think we can't know that because the backend doesn't return that information. For
We did it once before, like on the circle of trust. Like if I invite somebody, but they don't accept yet, everybody, all my friends who share that contact would also see an invite button for that person. We
Mhm.
did that once before.
Yeah, we can.
But what
What
I'm saying is,
is
Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong. Do we even return the information of the invite if I'm not the one who created it?
we can return the phone number only if the requesting user has that number in their contacts. So like I don't want to
Oh, I see. So it would be a backend thing.
right.
Mm,
I don't
okay.
want
Because right now the way it works is, and that kind of drove me crazy a little bit because you can't you can't send a message except if you're on your physical phone. So I had my physical phone up and I had created a invite from the simulator. And I was like, why is it not opening the freaking SMS? And then like 20 minutes later, after debugging, I learned that it wasn't returning the number to begin with because I wasn't the one who created the invite. So when I created the invite from my physical phone, then the drawer started opening. Um, so then I remembered that we don't return the number for privacy purposes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But now you're saying that you want to return it only if it's listed within that user's contacts.
Yeah. How would you do that, Jared?
I would just check the requesting user. As long as the requesting user key is being passed to that query, I can handle that.
Okay. Um, do you need any more information, or are you make a note to do that?
Yeah, just make a note.
Okay, cool. So he'll handle that for you, Ismail.
Okay, cool. And yeah, I mean, I guess I can demo it maybe later, but yeah, it'll be cool. I think we're pretty much almost there. Well, except the notification part. Now that adds extra layer of complexity that we have to kind of keep in mind in terms of opening
Yeah.
the image and yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. We need to decide who is gonna get the alerts down on the nav bar for us, the little alert button, and then where do we put the check-in button? Um, and also make sure the alerts are working properly. Ismail, I could have sworn you told me like a couple months ago that that whole alert screen was problematic. Like, is it? But I haven't had really problems lately. Is it? Did you ever address?
I don't think I was referring to the alert screen. I mean, it was when I first worked on it. I refactored that whole thing, but that was like a year ago.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to be working well. So
Yeah, no. Like when it was first, maybe you're talking about when EJ first left, like
yeah,
back then.
yeah, it was pretty messed up. But
Yeah,
you
like the whole I refactored it from scratch, but after that, I don't think I ever said that. It's like
okay, maybe I'm. Yeah, I mean, time's going by so fast that I might be just thinking
yeah.
over a year ago. Okay, because yeah, it's been solid. So I see no reason not to move it down there. I think we'll get tons more value out of it, now, and especially now that we're talking about this photo thing where it'll open the photo, but then you
Hmm.
where it is, all that. That's helpful. So okay,
Yeah, no, it's fine. I think the only problem we were having with it was sometimes we would try to open, like the data would be contaminated, so you would get alerts from production where you're in QA, and then it would
mm,
not open. And then we thought it was a bug for the longest time until we figured it out.
okay,
But
that's
then after that was fixed, I think it was pretty good after that. It was pretty solid.
okay.
Because the functionality of it is really not that complicated. It's just you have a title, a body, an avatar. And if you click on it, it's a deep link,
Yeah,
kind of like notification. So it's nothing crazy.
gotcha. Okay, okay, cool. Well, then we'll talk about that later this week as we get closer. But let's also make that a goal, like maybe by the end of the week, getting that alert spell down there. Um, I know Amine worked on some of that navigation stuff when we moved I think we put the search, that little magnifying glass icon down there, and we rearranged the order of some of those things a little bit. There's like a little bit of mapping consideration on that, but we'll cross that bridge later this week. Do you need anything else, Ismail? As far I know, Amit's going to finish up the query for tagging, right?
Yeah, I still need to determine how we're gonna get that image. Like, I was saying returning the URL through the notification, but Jerry was saying maybe return the user key and then having a separate query to fetch the image or to fetch the message. So there's gonna be, yeah, I'm still probably gonna have some questions around tagging, but nothing that can block the build.
Okay. Okay, cool. I had one last question, but now I forget it. Okay, that's all right. If it comes back to me, I'll just message. So, okay, well then, looks like we got all the bases covered here. We will. I'll be available. Todd and Danny and I are going to be meeting in our headquarters. So just let us know if you guys need anything, and you guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Sounds
You
good.
too.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See you later.